Have you ever wished you could change your life just by changing your thoughts? Well, there's a powerful idea that says you can do exactly that. It's called the law of assumption, and it's like having a magic wand for your life. This idea says that what you believe deep down becomes real in your life. It's not just positive thinking, it's about truly feeling that what you want is already yours. Now you might be thinking, that sounds too good to be true. But here's the thing. If you don't change how you think about yourself and your life, nothing around you will change either. It's like trying to see a different reflection in the mirror without changing your face. To make this work, you need to face your own thoughts and feelings. This can be tough because we often have beliefs that hold us back without even knowing it. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have all the luck? They get great jobs, find amazing partners, or always land on their feet no matter what happens. The secret isn't that they're luckier than you, it's that they assume good things will happen to them. They expect success, so that's what they get. But if you keep thinking, I'm not good enough, or bad things always happen to me, guess what? Your life will keep showing you proof that you're right. It's like ordering a meal at a restaurant. You get what you ask for. So, if you want to change your life, you need to change your order by changing what you assume to be true about yourself and your world. So what exactly is this law of assumption? It's a spiritual idea that says your outer world is a perfect match for your inner thoughts and beliefs. Imagine your mind is like a projector and the world around you is the screen. Whatever film you put in the projector, your thoughts and beliefs, that's what shows up on the screen of your life. This law isn't about wishful thinking or just saying positive words. It's about truly believing and feeling that what you want is already yours. It's like when you're really hungry and you order food. You don't sit there wondering if the food will come. You assume it will, and you might even start to feel satisfied just thinking about eating. The law of assumption works the same way with everything in life. Let's break it down with a simple example. Say you want a new job. Most people would think, I hope I get a new job soon. But with the law of assumption, you'd think and feel as if you already have that amazing new job. You'd wake up excited to go to work, even if you're still at your old job. You'd talk about your career with confidence and excitement. You'd plan your life as if you already had that new salary. This might sound silly at first. You might think, but I don't have the job yet, so isn't that lying to myself? Here's the key. The law of assumption says that by fully believing and feeling like you already have what you want, you open yourself up to receiving it. You start noticing opportunities you might have missed before. You carry yourself differently, which makes others see you differently too. It's like tuning a radio to a specific station. When you assume something is true, you're tuning your mind to the frequency of that reality. And just like a radio, when you're tuned to the right frequency, that's what you hear. Or in this case, that's what you experience in your life. But remember, this isn't about ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing which reality you want to focus on and live in. It's about shifting your focus from what's missing to what's possible. Now you might be wondering, who came up with this idea? Is there any proof it works? That's where Neville Goddard comes in. He was a spiritual teacher who lived in the 20th century and wrote extensively about the law of assumption. Goddard didn't just talk about these ideas, he lived them and taught others how to use them to change their lives. Goddard's teachings are powerful because they're practical. He didn't just say, think positive and good things will happen. He gave specific techniques for how to use your imagination to change your life. He taught that your imagination is the creative power of the universe, and that by learning to use it correctly, you can shape your reality. One of the things that makes Goddard's approach unique is that he ties it to spirituality and the nature of consciousness itself. He taught that consciousness is the only reality, and that the world we see is just an expression of our consciousness. This might sound complicated, but it's actually very empowering. It means that by changing your consciousness, your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions, you can change your world. Goddard's ideas matter for manifestation because they give us a clear step-by-step way to create change. Instead of just hoping for the best or trying to force things to happen, Goddard taught how to use our natural ability to imagine and feel to bring about real changes in our lives. Think about the last time you were really looking forward to something, maybe a vacation or a special event. Remember how you felt. You were probably excited, happy, and confident that it would be great. That's the feeling Goddard taught people to create about anything they want in life. He said that if you can create and hold on to that feeling, you're well on your way to making it real. But here's the catch. This isn't always easy to do. Our minds are often filled with doubts, fears, and negative beliefs that we've picked up over the years. These can make it hard to truly assume that good things will happen to us. That's why Goddard's technique, which we'll get into later, is so important. It gives us a way to work around our doubts and tap into the power of our imagination. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but does it really work? That's a fair question. The truth is, like any spiritual or personal development practice, the law of assumption works differently for different people. Some people see dramatic changes quickly, while for others, the changes are more subtle and gradual. The key is to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to experiment. Think of it like learning a new skill. You wouldn't expect to be an expert pianist after one lesson, right? In the same way, working with the law of assumption takes practice and patience. As we go deeper into how to use this law and Goddard's specific technique, keep in mind that this is about more than just getting stuff or achieving goals. It's about understanding the connection between your inner world and your outer reality. It's about realizing that you have more power to shape your life than you might have thought. In the next sections, we'll look at the key parts of the law of assumption, explore Goddard's specific technique for using it, and talk about common mistakes to avoid. We'll also share a success story to show how this can work in real life. Remember, the goal here isn't to promise miracles or instant success. It's to give you a powerful tool that you can use to start creating positive changes in your life. So, are you ready to dive deeper into the law of assumption and learn how to use your mind to shape your reality? Let's explore the first key principle of this powerful idea and see how you can start applying it in your own life. The first big idea in the law of assumption is that what's happening inside your mind is creating what's happening in your life. It's like your thoughts and feelings are the seeds, and your life experiences are the plants that grow from those seeds. Let's break this down with a simple example from everyday life. Think about the last time you woke up in a bad mood. Maybe you didn't sleep well, or you were worried about something. What happened that day? Chances are, a lot of little things went wrong. Maybe you spilled your coffee, got stuck in traffic, or had arguments with people. Now think about a day when you woke up feeling great. Everything seemed to go smoothly, right? People were nicer, things worked out well, and you felt like you were on a roll. The law of assumption says this isn't just chance. It's because your inner state, your mood, your expectations, your beliefs, is shaping your outer experiences. When you're in a good mood, you notice more positive things and react better to challenges. When you're in a bad mood, you're more likely to see problems and react negatively. But this goes deeper than just mood. It's about your core beliefs and assumptions. If you believe deep down that you're not good enough, you might sabotage opportunities without realizing it. If you assume that people are always out to get you, you'll find evidence of that everywhere you look. The good news is, you can use this knowledge to start changing your life. By consciously choosing more positive assumptions and beliefs, you can start to see more positive experiences in your life. It's like changing the channel on a TV. When you tune into a different frequency in your mind, you start to see a different show in your life. Here's a practical way to start using this idea. Pay attention to your thoughts throughout the day. When you notice a negative thought or assumption, ask yourself, is this really true? Or is there another way to look at this? Then, try to find a more positive assumption you could make instead. It might feel fake at first, but with practice, it becomes more natural. Remember, this isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to put your focus and energy. By assuming the best, you're more likely to find solutions and opportunities you might have missed otherwise. The second key idea in the law of assumption is something Neville Goddard called living from the end. This means imagining and feeling as if your desire has already come true instead of wishing for it to happen in the future. Think about it like this. When you order something online, you don't spend all your time worrying about whether it will arrive. You assume it's on its way, and you might even start planning what you'll do with it when it gets there. That's the kind of attitude Goddard said we should have about everything we want in life. Here's a story to help explain this. Imagine two people who want to become successful business owners. The first person spends all their time worrying about whether their business will succeed. They're always stressed, always doubting themselves. The second person acts as if they're already a successful business owner. They carry themselves with confidence, make decisions easily, and talk about their business as if it's already thriving. Who do you think is more likely to succeed? The second person, right? That's because they're living from the end. They're not just hoping for success, they're assuming it's already theirs. But how do you actually do this in real life? It's not about pretending or lying to yourself. It's about using your imagination to create such a vivid and real feeling of having what you want that your mind starts to accept it as true. Choose something you want in your life. Close your eyes and imagine that you already have it. What does it look like? How does it feel? Really let yourself feel the emotions you'd have if this were true right now. Would you feel happy? Relieved? Excited? Open your eyes and try to carry that feeling with you throughout your day. The trick is to do this regularly, not just once. It's like watering a plant. You need to keep nurturing that feeling and belief for it to grow into reality. One important thing to remember: this doesn't mean you should ignore your current reality or avoid taking action. It's about creating a balance between working towards your goals in the physical world and cultivating the right mental and emotional state to attract those goals. Now that we understand the big ideas behind the law of assumption, let's look at the specific technique Neville Goddard taught for using this law. Goddard called this technique revision, and it's a powerful way to use your imagination to change your life. Relax. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Get comfortable and take a few deep breaths to relax your body and mind. Choose a scene. Think of a short scene that would imply your desire has been fulfilled. For example, if you want a new job, imagine a friend congratulating you on your new position. Use all your senses. As you imagine this scene, make it as real as possible. What do you see? What sounds do you hear? Can you feel anything, like a handshake or a hug? The more senses you involve, the more real it will feel to your subconscious mind. Feel the emotion. This is crucial. Really feel the emotions you'd have if this were happening right now. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement. Loop the scene. Play this scene over and over in your mind, like a short movie on repeat. Do this for about 5-10 minutes or until it feels completely real to you. Fall asleep in this state. Goddard recommended doing this exercise as you fall asleep at night. He believed that your subconscious mind is most open to new ideas when you're in that drowsy state between waking and sleeping. The key to making this work is consistency and feeling. You need to do this regularly, not just once, and you need to really feel it as if it's happening now, not just think about it. Here's an example of how you might use this technique. Let's say you want to improve your relationship with your partner. You might imagine a scene where you're both laughing together, feeling completely in love and connected. You'd imagine the sound of their laughter, the feeling of their hand in yours, the warmth in your heart. You'd play this scene over and over, really letting yourself feel the love and happiness. One thing that makes Goddard's technique different from other visualization methods is the focus on feeling it as real now, not in the future. He taught that your imagination is creating reality all the time, so when you imagine something vividly, you're actually experiencing it in a very real way. This technique can feel strange at first. You might think, but this isn't really happening. Am I just fooling myself? Goddard would say that your imagination is just as real as your physical experiences, maybe even more so because it's the source of all your experiences. It's important to understand that this technique isn't about forcing things to happen or controlling others. It's about changing your own consciousness. As your consciousness changes, your experiences naturally start to align with your new way of thinking and feeling. Remember, this isn't a quick fix or a magic spell. It's a practice, like meditation or exercise. The more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more results you're likely to see. Some people see changes quickly, while for others, it takes more time. The key is to be patient and persistent. In the next section, we'll look at some common mistakes people make when trying to use the law of assumption and how to avoid them. This will help you use Goddard's technique more effectively and start seeing real changes in your life. Common mistakes to avoid. When practicing the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's technique, there are a few common pitfalls that people often encounter. Let's look at these mistakes and how to fix them. One of the biggest mistakes is constantly thinking about what you don't have. For example, if you want more money, you might keep thinking, I don't have enough money. This actually reinforces the lack in your life. How to fix it? Instead of focusing on what you don't have, shift your attention to the feeling of having what you want. Imagine how it feels to have plenty of money, to be financially secure. Focus on gratitude for what you do have, no matter how small. Sometimes people try so hard to make the law of assumption work that they create stress and anxiety. They might obsess over doing the technique perfectly or worry that it's not working fast enough. How to fix it? Remember, this is about relaxing into a new state of being, not forcing things to happen. Trust the process. Do the technique with a sense of play and curiosity, not desperation. It's okay if your mind wanders or if you don't see results immediately. Many people try the technique a few times and give up when they don't see instant results. But like any skill, this takes practice and consistency. How to fix it, make it a daily habit like brushing your teeth. Even just a few minutes each day can make a big difference over time. Be patient with yourself and the process. Sometimes people think that if they just imagine what they want, they don't need to take any action in the real world. This is a misunderstanding of the law of assumption. How to fix it? While the mental work is crucial, it's also important to take inspired action. As you practice the technique, you'll likely feel motivated to take certain steps. Follow these impulses. They're part of the manifestation process. To illustrate how the law of assumption can work in real life, let's look at a success story. This is about Sarah, a woman in her 30s who wanted to change her career. Sarah had been working in a job she didn't like for years. She dreamed of becoming a writer, but she always told herself it wasn't practical. She had bills to pay and responsibilities. Plus, she didn't think she was good enough to make it as a writer. One day, Sarah learned about the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's technique. She decided to give it a try. Every night before bed, she would imagine a scene where she was at a book signing for her first published novel. She imagined the feel of the pen in her hand as she signed books, the smiles of the readers, and the pride she felt in her accomplishment. At first, it felt strange and a bit silly, but Sarah kept at it, doing this visualization every night for several months. Gradually, she noticed changes in her daily life. She started feeling more confident about her writing. She found herself jotting down story ideas during her lunch breaks. One day, she saw an ad for a local writing workshop. In the past, she might have ignored it, thinking she wasn't good enough. But this time, inspired by her nightly visualizations, she signed up. At the workshop, she met other aspiring writers and learned about a contest for new authors. Encouraged by her new friends, Sarah entered the contest. To her surprise, her story was selected as one of the finalists. This led to her meeting a literary agent who loved her work. 2 years after starting her nightly visualizations, Sarah had a book deal. It wasn't exactly like her visualizations. She wasn't at a huge book signing yet, but she had become a published author, something she never thought possible before. Sarah's story shows how the law of assumption can work. By consistently imagining herself as a successful author, Sarah changed her self-image and her beliefs about what was possible. This led her to notice opportunities she might have missed before, and gave her the courage to take action when those opportunities appeared. Remember, not everyone's results will look exactly like Sarah's, and it may not happen in the same time frame. The key is to persist in your practice and remain open to possibilities. We've journeyed through the powerful idea of the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's technique for using it. We've seen how our inner world shapes our outer reality, how living from the end can transform our experiences, and how using our imagination can be a tool for real change. Remember, this isn't about magical thinking or ignoring reality. It's about understanding the deep connection between our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. It's about realizing that we have more power to shape our lives than we often believe. As you start to apply these ideas in your own life, be patient with yourself. Like any new skill, this takes practice. You might not see dramatic changes overnight, but with consistent effort, you may start to notice shifts in your life. Maybe small at first, but growing over time. Keep in mind the common mistakes we discussed, and don't be discouraged if you fall into them sometimes. Just gently redirect yourself back to the practice. Remember Sarah's story, and know that change is possible, even if it doesn't always look exactly like we imagined. The law of assumption invites us to take responsibility for our lives in a profound way. It challenges us to examine our deepest beliefs and assumptions and to consciously choose the reality we want to experience. This can be uncomfortable at times, but it's also incredibly empowering. As you go forward from here, I encourage you to experiment with these ideas. Try Goddard's technique, pay attention to your assumptions, practice living from the end. See what changes in your life. You might be surprised at what you can create. Remember, the power has been within you all along. The law of assumptions simply helps you tap into it more consciously. Your imagination is the workshop where you can craft the life you desire. Use it wisely, use it often, and watch as your world begins to transform. Thank you for exploring these ideas with me. I hope they serve you well on your journey of growth and self-discovery. Here's to unlocking your power of manifestation and creating a life you love.